You are the first immigration lawyer in Northern Ontario and at the biggest law firm in Northern Ontario. Wow.
Me and my wife, we both got a position of professor at Cambrian College.
Why did you choose to move to a smaller city like Sudbury? What benefits would you recommend newcomers considering when choosing a place to settle in Canada?
Only reason why I moved to Sudbury because of job opportunities.
So, what are the recent immigration changes by IRCC in 2024, and what should newcomers and international students be aware of?
Most important thing for a newcomers or people who are planning to come to Canada for a study, IRCC clearly mention few institutions, a list of institutions. It's over the government website.
Could you share some key tips for PR applicants?
When you apply for a permanent residency, first important thing is that you should always see that if you are eligible for the specific program, if you are applying, right?
Can Canadian permanent residency or Canadian citizenship be revoked? And what can they do to protect their status in Canada? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the brand new edition of Beyond the Border Season 1, Episode 20 on CKLU 96.7, your station. My name is Arjun and the show comes to you every Sunday 7 p.m. until 8. You are listening to us on 96.7 CKLU.ca and Radio Player Canada app all over Canada and all over the universe. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, today is one of the second biggest festivals of Nepalese community. So I'd like to wish very, very happy Diwali to each and everyone who are in Canada, or let's say who are far from their country, home country, as well as we'd like to wish all the Indian communities as well. Happy Diwali to everyone. So today on the show, we are honored to introduce a truly inspiring guest. I'm talking about none other than lawyer Puneet Mehta, the first immigration lawyer in Northern Ontario at Weaver Simmons LLP, which is the Northern Ontario's largest law firm, and also he is the professor at Cambrian College. Originally from India, Puneet moved to Canada in 2018 with a distinguished legal background, including a BA in laws and LL.M in contract laws. Despite his qualification back home, he started from scratch working odd jobs, including as an Amazon associate, while relentlessly, pursuing his goal of becoming a certified lawyer. This journey, though challenging, fueled his determination and resilience. In January 2021, Puneet achieved a significant milestone, joining the Ontario Bar. His career quickly advanced, and in 2022, he joined Weaver Simmons, focusing on immigration law and guiding newcomers through complex legal pathways. As Northern Ontario's first dedicated immigration lawyer, Puneet has made an invaluable impact by guiding individuals and families through the complexities of the Canadian immigration process. His impact extends beyond law as he actively serves his community, founding the Himanshu Mehta Charitable Society to support intellectually disabled children, and his commitment to service extend to his active roles in the Rotary Club of Sudbury, the Law Society of Ontario, the Canadian Bar Association, and the Sudbury District Law Association. All right, today we're going to listen to his journey of the patience, dedications, resilience, and many more. All right, Mr. Puneet Mehta. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Arjun.
So first of all, I'd like to wish you very happy Diwali. Do you celebrate Diwali?
Oh yeah, definitely we celebrate Diwali in
Mhm.
India also, and yesterday we celebrated Diwali at Crusoe Club also.
Wow.
So yeah, it's
Mhm,
nice.
mhm. Did you miss your country, India, like in the time of celebration?
Definitely we miss. There is a no doubt on this, but luckily we are in Sudbury and we have a very good community here,
No
right?
doubt.
So from India, from Nepal, from other South Asian countries. So
Mhm.
we celebrate all the festivals together. So it's very good.
All right.
Yeah.
So you came in Canada in 2018.
Yes.
So can you share a bit about your journey to Canada from India, your background in India, and how your career began as an Amazon associate before becoming a very certified lawyer and profession in Northern Ontario?
So basically, I completed my law degree in India from Guru Nanak Dev University. And after that, I also completed my master's degree in business and contractual laws. And after completion of my law education, so I practiced there for almost 4 5 years. And then in 2017, we planned to move to Canada. And I applied through a express entry, and then in 2018 I moved with my family in mid of 2018 with a clear focus of getting a license of barrister and solicitor as soon as possible. So my wife, she's also lawyer with the Weaver Simmons, and we came to Canada on the same time.
Mm.
And when we came to Canada, my first job was Amazon associate. So I joined Amazon in 2018, I think somewhere around June or July. So definitely, but my goal was to uh, achieve or get my license, right. So we started with Amazon, and I worked for almost 4 days in a week, and rest of 3 days I took a coaching classes for my law exams. And it took me around, I can say, roughly 2 years to clear my NCA exams and then bar exams. During that time, honestly, it was very hard for me to join and start work at Amazon, because for most of the new immigrants, definitely it's kind of uh, you can say basically we can say a shock, right? When you came here, it's like a cultural shock. It's like a we came far from our country, from our people, right? But definitely, my goal gave me a motivation to work in Amazon also. But I think if I'm not wrong, in 2018 somewhere, I got a very bad lower back injury during my work, and I was in bed for almost 2 3 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that was a very difficult time for me and for my family. That was a very major injury I had in 2018, and till today I feel physical pain for that. But yeah, definitely I am recovered almost from that injury. Yeah. So, but I continued with my studies. I continued with my classes, and in 2019 I cleared all my NCA exams, and then in 2020 I wrote my bar exams for Ontario for barrister and solicitor, and I cleared in 2020. And then in January 2021 I got my license there.
Wow.
As a barrister and
Now
solicitor.
you are the first immigration lawyer
Yes.
in Northern Ontario and at the biggest law
Yeah.
firm in
Yeah.
Northern Ontario.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing. And you are also the professor,
Yeah.
business law professor at Cambrian College.
Yes.
How it feels, Puneet?
Yeah, definitely it feels good because when I started, like in GTA, in Greater Toronto area, I started with a law firm in that area. So I started my practice as a real estate and lawyer and wills and corporate, and I also did immigration, but not exclusively. But then I started applying job, I think in 2022, and fortunately I got a me and my wife, we both got a job at Weaver Simmons, and definitely I feel lucky, and yeah, that I am with the Weaver Simmons. And then in 2023 I also got a me and my wife, we both got a position of professor at Cambrian College.
Wow.
Definitely.
It's a proud moment.
Yeah.
All right. So, why did you choose to move to a smaller city like Sudbury from the GTA, and what benefits would you recommend newcomers considering when choosing a place to settle in Canada, as per your experience?
I had no plan originally to move to Sudbury. So the only reason why I moved to Sudbury because of job opportunities, right? So I was doing a job in GTA, but definitely I want to switch a job where I can exclusively do immigration. So I started to apply new jobs, my wife also, and then definitely so we got a opportunity with the Weaver Simmons, and that was the only reason that why I moved to Sudbury because of the job. But after that, in last 2 years, I can see the difference, because if new immigrants or new people like move to smaller cities or remote areas, it's very beneficial, I can say, with the jobs, and they can have better business opportunities also. So yeah, I always suggest to newcomers, to new students, to new immigrants that you should not focus only on a big cities. Definitely, if you have some job or something in big cities, then it's fine. But if you are trying to figure out some new opportunities, then you should focus on smaller cities also, or remote areas. Yeah.
All right, moving on. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced during the licensing process? Everybody says licensing process is very, very hard, very difficult here in Canada when it comes to
Yes.
law, when it comes to medical lines and whatever. What biggest challenges you faced during the licensing process to become a lawyer in Canada, and what advice would you give to the foreign trained professionals on balancing your studies and work at the same time?
So definitely, I can start with the procedure that how any foreign lawyer can get a license of a lawyer in Canada. Then we can discuss about the challenges also.
Of course.
So basically, anyone, if they want to get a barrister or solicitor license in Canada, so they need to apply to NCA. This is a one organization. So NCA will assess, evaluate your past legal education and your work experience, basically, back home. After evaluation, they issue a one report, which is called, you can say, NCA report, and accordingly we have to write exams. So I got almost five exams for NCA: Constitution, criminal law, civil law, family law, and administrative law. So it took me around 1 year to wrote that exam. So these exams are like more of open book paper. So yes, after clearing these exams, we have to write bar exams for barrister and solicitor in Ontario. For bar exams, we have to study almost every law, including property law, civil, criminal, matrimonial laws, and corporate, commercial, all kind of laws we have to take, right. So definitely, and the challenge which I think newcomers will face, it's like lack of guidance. So if any newcomer or any new person come to Canada and they want to write a bar exams and they want to write a NCA exam, so it's my advice that they should they should contact some uh, good institution or any good coaching institution where they can get a proper guidance, because without guidance it can take up to, I can say, 4, 5, 6 years. But if you have a very good guidance or any mentor, then you can do this within a 2 years, right, with the jobs. So yeah, so guidance is very important during this, and luckily I got a very good guidance during this time, so that's why, yeah.
You said, as per your experience, what are the biggest challenges you faced? I'm sure you had mental shock being so qualified. You know, you
Yes.
had BA laws, LL.B's honors with distinction from Guru Nanak Dev University, Master of Laws,
Yes.
LL.M, contract laws in India.
Yeah.
But then also you have to struggle a lot.
Yes.
Can you please share your experience?
Yeah, so biggest challenge for new immigrants who want to be a lawyer, doctor, or such kind of professional, CPA, right? So I think the first challenge is, I can say, financial, right? You can say we need to manage our daily routine, financial expenditure, such kind of things, and we have to study. We need to do jobs also. On the other hand, let's say if somebody is Canadian, right? So they have somehow support of families during the studies. But if we are doing study, even for a lawyer, doctor, new immigrants, we have to support our families also, right? So that's why we need to do jobs. So we have to manage jobs and our studies together. So my approach was, like, normally I worked for 3 to 4 days in a week and rest 3 4 days exclusively for my studies. So it can take, like, so I studied almost 12 to 14 hours in a day. But definitely there are challenges, but if we have a clear goal, then we can achieve. Definitely we can achieve. So we should have a definite goal and a plan to achieve, then it's easy to go with it.
All right, of
Yeah.
course. Now you are the lawyer in biggest law firm of Northern Ontario, that is Weaver Simmons LLP. How has working with these institutions shaped your legal career, and what unique services does the firm provide for the immigrant community?
Yeah, so Weaver Simmons is one of the biggest law firm in Northern Ontario, and if I'm not wrong, it's almost 100 years old.
Wow.
Law firm. And we provide various kind of services in Weaver Simmons. So we have various departments, from criminal department, civil litigation department, family law, and corporate, commercial, real estate, and employment, labor law. So it's like, and of course immigration also. And yeah, so we provide services in almost every field of law, and specifically if we go to immigration, so we provide services related to temporary residence extensions and permanent residencies, citizenship, and LMIs, LMI exemptions. So it's a long list. So we cover almost every kind of immigration services at our law firm.
All right,
Yes.
all right. Let's talk about immigrations.
Yes.
So recently there have been many changes in immigrations, you know. So what are the recent immigration changes or notable immigration changes by IRCC in 2024, and what should newcomers and international students be aware of? What do you want to say about this?
Okay, so basically there are lot of immigration changes, but I can say these changes are not applicable to everyone, right? It depends on specific condition of a candidate or a applicant. But I can tell you overview of few changes. First, we can talk about the LMIS, right? So if any employer wants to hire a foreign worker, that business should get a LMIA approval. So now almost we can say in all over Canada, ESDC department announced that if there is an unemployment rate of 6% or more in any area, they are not going to give approval to low wage LMIs. So which means if any job offer is under $28.39, that will be considered under low wage LMI. So that will not be approved. As of today, as per my knowledge, so at this time, Sudbury's unemployment rate is somewhere around 5.2 or 5.4%. So, but yeah, definitely. So, it can change, right, anytime. And so, one is the this change, and second change is from 8th or 9th of November, they are going to increase this 28.39% of job offer with a 20% increase in this also, right? So, and for students, the new change is that if they want to apply for a post graduation work permit, they need to have IELTS also. Previously, they can apply for a post graduation work permit even without clearing the clearing IELTS exams, English language test exam, any, but now they need to give IELTS exams. Definitely for getting a permanent residency, normally students go with this procedure, but now for post graduation work permit also. And the most important thing for a newcomers or people who are planning to come to Canada for a study, now IRCC clearly mentioned few institutions, a list of institutions, it's over the government website. So everyone should check that list before they enter into any program or a college, so that they can make sure that after completion of studies they will get a post graduation work permit, right? So it's that list is over the government website. So these are the few changes, and the suggestion which I definitely I want to give to newcomer students, that after completion of study they should focus on few skilled jobs. I can give a category so that they can get a permanent residency through these. So it can be jobs related to health sector, jobs related to early childhood educators, jobs related to construction, job related to trucking. So that job should be kind of skilled jobs, right? So basically they are going to IRCC is going to announce maybe in future more changes like these, right? So if anyone students completing the studies, immediately they should focus on to get some licenses in Ontario. So they should focus on a skilled kind of jobs, or the jobs where Canada needs more people, right? So then it's easy to get a permanent residency if you go only with the basic jobs, right? So definitely it will be a hard to settle. Yeah.
All right. So for those who's looking to move to Canada,
Yes.
could you provide an overview of the main immigration pathways for newcomers and their families to gain
Okay.
PR, permanent residency, and
Yes.
what are some of the most strategic choices for newcomers in 2024?
Yeah, definitely. So first I can give overview that how immigration system in Canada works at what levels, right? So in Canada immigration system, we can say it's divided into three parts, three levels, different levels. So first is a federal level, then provincial level, and third is the rural levels at a ground level. So at a federal level, it's called express entry, right? So express entry is also divided into three parts. It's FSWP, FSTP, and CEC. So first is Federal Skilled Worker Program. I personally came to Canada through express entry, right? In such kind of programs, we don't need. It's not mandatory that we should have a job offer in Canada, right? So we can apply, we can submit our file in a pool. through other countries also. It's a point basis system, so anyone can apply with the basic, definitely the requirements which are, if they meet that requirement, they can apply for this express entry. And then second option is a federal skilled trade program. These are mostly for skilled or trade people. And third, at a federal level, is a Canadian experience class. So what is Canadian experience class? So this option is applicable only to those people who are already inside Canada and they have a work experience of more than 1 year, right? So they can apply for a Canadian experience class. So this is the federal level program. And then we can discuss about the PNP, which is provincial level program. So people can apply for provincial level programs also. So here specifically I will talk about the OINP, the PNP program for our province, Ontario. OINP is also divided into 9 different categories, right? So I am going to talk very general about these 9 categories, because we have to see first profile of a candidate only, then I can advise under which category anyone can apply, but I can give a very specific overview. So the first most important stream under this OINP is international student stream, right? So anyone who completes his or her studies in Ontario, they can apply for this international student stream. So the most important thing for international student stream is the job offer should be at a tier level 0, 1, 2, 3. So it should be up to tier level 3 for this international student stream. But definitely applicant should have a valid job offer, then they can apply. There is a no hard and fast experience requirements for international student stream. And the second stream is a foreign worker stream. So this is also a part of OINP program. So normal rule is that candidate should have a 2 years of work experience in this stream. But if anyone in Ontario is a licensed profession, let's say if someone is a early childhood educator or a truck driver, right, they can get exemption from this 2 years of work experience. They can apply under this foreign worker stream. And last is the in-demand skill stream. So this is applicable to tier level 4 and 5, right, for a construction workers or you can say mining labor. So all that type of jobs fall under in-demand skill streams. So this is core OINP job offer streams in which a candidate should have a job offer. So there are few categories under OINP in which we don't specifically need a job offer, right? So it can be a master stream, it can be a PhD stream. So if someone completes a master's in Ontario from a recognized university, they can apply for a OINP, right?
Mhm.
And the last stream which I need to discuss at a ground level or a rural level is RNIP program. It's applicable to Sudbury also. There are total 11 communities throughout the Canada, and yes, so now RNIP program is paused at this time and it's closed from 31st of August. And we hope that IRCC is going to announce they are going to relaunch this
Okay.
program soon. So my advice, if you want to apply for a RNIP, then definitely you should have ready with your IELTS scores, right? And you should have a job offer, valid job offer in the community. And it's better if you have a job offer related to the fields which we discussed about. If you have a job offer in you can say early childhood education field or health sector, construction sector, or if you have a job offer in any skilled construction, or if you are a truck driver, then definitely you people can get more scores, and there is a high probability that you can get a permanent residence easily.
Wow, interesting. So, since you are an immigration lawyer, so I have lots many questions related to immigration. So, being very specific and in a point, could you share some key tips for
Yes.
PR applicants on managing their documents submission effectively, including best practice to avoid delays, rejections, or misrepresentations with
Yes.
immigration authorities?
So, the most important thing when you apply for a permanent residency, the most first important thing is that you should always see that if you are eligible for this specific program, if you are applying, right? So let's say if you apply and you are not specifically eligible for that program, definitely in future you will get a rejection. So it will a waste of time and all. So the best practice is to check your eligibility first for any program, right? It can be at a federal level, at provincial level, or at a ground level. So, and second important thing during this time, let's say if you are eligible, then you should collect your documents in a very proper manner. And the third is you should have all information which you are going to submit to IRCC. Don't go uh, with the missing information or something, right? So try. So normally with my experience, like let's say like we submit many files for permanent residency at our office. So normally I noticed one thing that uh, new immigrant students, they are not much aware about the joining dates of the job, ending date, such kind of things. So we should not go with a estimate for these things. So best practice is to go to Service Canada and to get a what's it's called, it's record of employment, right? So anyone can go to Service Canada and can get a record of employment. On that they can easily find when they join any job or when they left. So it's very helpful, that thing. So, and second important thing which I third important thing which I need to mention here is, so new immigrants and new students who came to Canada, right? So at the time of application for a permanent residency, they are not much aware about. I can't say that they are not much aware, but they are not much aware about exactly about the past dates of jobs and all, right? So it's better to apply for a GCMS notes also. If you are going to submit your file, you know that definitely, like if you are planning to stay here as a permanent resident, you will apply for a permanent residency application. So it's better to apply for a GCMS note, so that IRCC will provide you all the documents, everything which you already submitted with the IRCC. So it will not lead to any confusion or something at the time of submission. So yeah.
As we know that most people from other countries think that if they get permanent residency or Canadian citizenship, now they can't be removed from Canada. Do you have any cases in which permanent residencies has been cancelled, or let's say in what situation can Canadian permanent residency or Canadian citizenship be revoked?
Yeah.
And what can they do to protect their status in Canada?
Permanent residency can be revoked, and even a citizenship can be revoked. But there are few points which I need to mention here. So if let's say after getting a permanent residency, if some person or anyone involved in any criminal activity, right, or if they do any act which is against the Canadian security, such kind of, or let's say if in future IRCC finds that they gave a permanent residency on some fake documents, or somebody misrepresented it to IRCC while getting this permanent residency thing, definitely IRCC can investigate on this and they can revoke a permanent residency also. So that's why I always suggest to my clients to give as much information to IRCC, and information should be accurate. right, and definitely after getting permanent residency, we should aware on these things. And moving to citizenship, revocation of citizenship, it's hard as compared to revoking a permanent residency, but it's not like that they cannot revoke citizenship. Citizenship can be revoked in extreme cases, like if someone is involved in acts of terrorism, right, or if someone is involved in uh, act of serious crime, or if someone is going against the interests of Canada, then definitely they have immigration minister, they have authority to revoke citizenship also. Yep.
Wow, interesting. There have been, concern about this specific term, procedural fairness letter. So, in short, what is procedural fairness letter, and what step applicants should take if they receive one from IRCC?
So basically, first I will explain you when candidate can get a procedural fairness
Exactly.
letter, right? So normally, let's say if someone apply for a permanent residency with IRCC through any pathway, it can be a federal, provincial, or at a ground level, right, rural programs. So when any candidate submits a permanent residency application to IRCC, so if IRCC have any doubt or anything, normally they issue a request letter, additional document request letter. So in reply to that letters, we have to provide IRCC that information or the documents. But let's say in extreme cases, or it's not very much common, but yeah, definitely with my experience, I can say around 5-10%, right? So if IRCC is not satisfied that you meet the program's eligibility, or you are not eligible, or if IRCC finds that your documents are not genuine or anything like that, they will issue a procedural fairness letter. So procedural fairness letter is kind of the IRCC show intention that they want to reject your application, candidate's application, and they give a opportunity. Normally they give 7 days, or in some cases they give a 30 days to reply to that letter. So let's say if anyone gets a procedural fairness letter, they should work on it. They should prepare the documents, prepare the reply. They can get advice of a lawyer, right? But it's kind of last opportunity which IRCC gives through the procedural fairness letter before they reject the application. So that's why it's very important, if anyone gets procedural fairness letter, they should reply, they should collect the documents, prepare reply in a proper way, or should contact a lawyer to give reply to procedural fairness letter. And if anyone is submitting a reply in a proper way with proper documents, then definitely IRCC accept and give approval for permanent residence.
Almost at the end, I have some questions related to employers and employees thing and LMI as well.
Yeah,
For
definitely.
employers interested in hiring foreign workers, what is an LMIA, or let's say labor market impact assessment, and which department handles it? And what are some recent updates or exemptions to LMI system in Canada?
If any employer wants to hire a foreign worker, there can be three options. Basically, there can be three options for that employer. One is to go through LMIA approval, and second can be go through a LMI exempt work permits, and third can be to go with any permanent residency program. So I will explain all these three things. So first is LMIA, right? So LMIA is a labor market impact assessment. So if any employer wants to hire a foreign worker who is not a Canadian permanent resident or a citizen, and employer wants to hire that from outside of Canada or even inside of Canada, employer needs to apply to ESDC department. This department is a part of Service Canada. So business needs to apply to this department, and first business should run the advertisement, and they should give preference to hire two permanent residents and Canadian citizens first. And if a business is not able to find any suitable match for the business, then they can give or they can offer a position to a foreign worker. After recruitment efforts, they have to submit the full application package to ESDC department. It's nowadays it's online, and then there will be a fees depending on the stream. After that, ESDC department will go through that application and will give the decision that if a business can hire a foreign worker or no. So yeah, it's a straight procedure. And the second option which we discuss, it's a LMIA exemption work permits. So there is a very long list for this, right? But I can give you a little bit idea what can be a LMI exempt work permits, how a business can hire a foreign worker without getting approval for LMIA. So under this category, it can be through some trade agreements. So Canada is having a trade agreements with many countries around the world, where a foreign worker can directly hire where employer can directly hire a foreign worker without getting approval of LMIA. So trade agreements. Second can be if any job or a position is beneficial to Canadian economy, even then employer can get a approval from ESDC department that to get an exemption from LMIA stuff. And it can also go with some religious institution, hiring in religious institutions. And then last, let's say I can give you another example. If Canadian IRCC or Canadian government thinks that hiring a specific category of job, right, it will be helpful in growth or economy of Canada, they can give a permission under that also, under LMI exemption. And the third and final option which we discussed through permanent residency. So quickly I can give you an example. Let's say if a business in Sudbury, I'm giving a specific example, if a business in Sudbury wants to hire a foreign worker, right? So they can go through program RNIP also. If they are willing to give job offer to any foreign worker, even if they are outside of Canada. So after applying after applying RNIP at a ground level, if candidate gets approval, right, for recommendation from the community, then we can apply at a federal level with IRCC. When we receive AOR, on that basis, we can apply for a work permit also, which is called LMI exempt work permit. Business don't need to get a LMIA approval for that. Just with that recommendation AOR, right, business can directly hire a foreign worker, and foreign worker can come to Canada and start work. Yeah, these are the
Wow, interesting. Almost at the end, I have to miss some of the questions.
Yeah.
But before we leave, I'm gonna ask this question. When it comes to employer-employee relationship, what are the essential legal rights and responsibility for both parties? As we get to listen to many complaints on social media by international students and employees, how should issues such as work-related injuries or disputes over employment terms be handled?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So, although I have not much expertise in this field, we have a department at Weaver Simmons who specifically tackle such kind of employer-employee relationship disputes and all. But as per my understanding and knowledge, if there is a dispute between employer and employee have many rights, right? So they can approach Ontario Ministry of Labour, they can go with the Ontario Labour Relationship Board, and even in few cases maybe to civil courts also. So definitely they have rights. So all that rights are very easily clearly mentioned on IRCC website. Anyone can go there and check rights of employees, right? Rights of newcomers, and yeah, if they feel it's they are facing issues, then they can approach various labor boards for this. And if any uh, any new immigrant or any person, they if any injury or something on a workplace, then they can approach WSIB for that.
Wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and effort and your wonderful insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me.